All right, welcome to our first SEADLink member spotlight. I have Christie Zarpas, who is an active member and provides outstanding influence and contributions to the Mindful Seed community. So, as a thanks, we are featuring her in the SEADLink member spotlight. So, welcome, Christie.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so I was wondering if we could start by you just sharing briefly about yourself and just giving us a quick sense of who you are.
Of course, yeah. So I have been a part of the Clark County School District for about 5 years now. I am a second grade teacher and literacy specialist at Vale Pittman Elementary. I've also had the privilege of being the SEL curriculum director at our school at Vale Pittman. So that's been an extra thing that I've been doing, and I've been really enjoying it. So, kind of balancing between teaching and also helping coach others in their SEL practices within their classroom.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, so kind of to go back to the origin story, what made you decide to become an educator?
So I originally did not think about going into education. I actually finished my undergrad in a bachelor's program. I'm sorry, in a journalism program.
Oh,
And
okay.
I decided after going through a couple of jobs where I wasn't feeling quite fulfilled that I needed something that was going to bring me fulfillment in my career. Spoke to a couple of friends of mine who said, Christy, have you ever thought of being a teacher? And I was like, oh my gosh, this light bulb went off. I was like, wait a minute, I love learning. I love being in school. That passion is what made me want to be a teacher from other teachers. So how about I try and instill it in others? So I did my student teaching. First day in the classroom, I knew it was meant to be. So that's my come to realization moment.
I love it. Yeah, and then at that point, how did you learn about SEL practices?
So SEL actually started with myself. I started implementing these strategies as far as like gratitude was a huge one with my own life. And I was noticing the impact that it was making. And I was also reflecting on my education and how impactful those strategies and those skill sets would have been in my education. So I kind of started it not even realizing I was doing SEL skills, but focusing on those social emotional skills while with my students. And then it became into a formal acronym. And I actually was able to teach these skills with curriculums. And now it's becoming a thing that the world is learning about. And it's so beautiful because it started as just this worked for me, I want to pass it on. But now I'm noticing that it's working for a lot of people and the power of SEL. So that is how that came about.
Yeah, I guess kind of along the same vein of thought, like what have you enjoyed most about your career?
Academic growth is amazing. I am so proud when a kid can come to me not being able to read and leave reading. But the biggest thing is watching these kids develop their own confidence, goal setting, learning who they are, and being able to be that person to another person and inspiring others. So, watching them first develop that self awareness and then being able to pass it on to others, that has just been life changing for me. Watching the kids interact with each other, taking those skills and teaching the skills to others, that's when you really feel like you've succeeded as a teacher, personally.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I guess on the flip side, what would you say has been your biggest challenge?
Biggest challenge, I don't want to say COVID because I feel like that's going to be the statement for many teachers, but it has had a large impact socially. And I've noticed that the need for SEL is now greater than ever after this pandemic. And I know that it's not just me, so that does give me a little bit of not peace of mind that we're all in this together, but kind of it is nice to know that this is something that the whole world right now is dealing with. So, although it has been a struggle for the children and for myself and for all educators, I do feel like it's a chance for all of us to come together again and collaborate on a common goal that we all are, in really dire need of right now.
Totally. Yeah, that's a great answer. Um, n- where you are today, if you could go back in time and give yourself one piece of advice before entering education, what would it be?
One day at a time. I would tell myself that. Even 1 hour at a time. Because if you start to think about every single thing you have to do, that overwhelming nature is going to come right over you. And that would just be the first thing I say is just do it one day at a time, even one subject. I'm in elementary, so one subject at a time. Just focus, be present. Those would be what I would tell myself
That's
or
great.
myself.
I feel like that's true of like any profession. Just be present.
Yeah, don't worry about what's coming next. Focus on the now.
Yeah. I guess you've kind of touched on SEL, but how would you say have SEL and Mindful Seed helped you?
Mindful Seed has been such a life-changing group to be a part of. As I mentioned before, SEL has always kind of been a part of my education and my personal teaching. However, finding a community to be able to share resources, share ideas, share strengths, share some things we need to grow on, that has been so powerful because one person is great, two people is great, but having a community is just the real power. And so being able to find like-minded people and continually bringing more like-minded people into one community has just been so incredible to watch. And I'm so excited to see how it grows and where we can take this.
Yeah, I like it. Kind of along that line, are there any topics you'd like to talk about more in particular to fellow SEADLink members?
I definitely would like to talk about curriculums because I know as a teacher that we can feel with all the things that we have to do in the day that embedding that formal SEL practices is difficult. We have so many subjects and things that we have to teach. So being able to embed our academic standards with some SEL integration, and maybe even if there isn't a curriculum that we all agree on, maybe coming up with ideas. So being able to integrate academics with SEL so that we're able to still fulfill district and state requirements, but we're still also able to teach these skills. I think that would be a really, really powerful thing for SEADLink to come together and discuss.
Yeah, that sounds great. Just to wrap it up, my final question, imagine a day without work, the internet, and any other obligations. What would you do?
Okay, I would take my car. I would go probably to Utah, probably either Zion or Bryce. But if it was a day where I needed it to be myself, I would want no one there. So I would go and I would catch the sunrise on a nice, beautiful peak and enjoy a cup of coffee.
That
Just
sounds amazing.
go back to being present, just enjoying.
Yeah, I wish I could do that right now.
Let's go.
Well, thank you so much, Christy, for sharing with us and for being a part of Mindful Seed.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be a part of it. And like I mentioned, I'm really excited for all the opportunities that we all have coming forward.
I agree. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.